Hey, good morning. Um, Saturday was great. It was absolutely great. You have upwards of now 11 million people. Initial estimates were 7, but now it's up to 11 million people, Americans, people around the world who are marching against tyranny and the oligarchy and a pedophile network and fascists, evil people around the world. And those 11 million represent a whole lot more. And these protests have continued to grow. And so you have to ask yourself, like what's next? Like great feeling. It's so good not to feel isolated, not to feel alone, and to be reminded that you are in the majority. There's nothing like this in the history of this current phase of the Republican Party and this fascist movement worldwide. There's nothing like this compared to in size. And so remember that. Remember you're in the majority. Remember you are Republican, independent, Democrat. You are on the right side of history. You're trying to do the right thing. Maybe even if you got pulled aside, pulled wayward earlier, but now you are awake. You are awake. And that terrifies them. It terrifies them. And they have to figure out what's next. And a part of it is suppression. A part of it is communication suppression, because they think if they just keep everybody from talking to each other, that those things don't happen. No King's protests, protests at ICE facilities, protests around the world against people like Netanyahu and G-sides don't happen. And people are resilient. They'll figure out a way, either through another platform or just community, building community, which is a danger to fascists. They'll figure out a way, because community is the real danger. Because once you have community and some kind of stability, then people start to wonder why their lives are continuously getting work and the lives of their children are continuously getting work. And billionaires, their lives are getting better and they're doing, what they want, or trying to do what they want. And that scares the shit out of them. So protests like this are a reminder that they don't really run the show. They're making decisions right now, and some decisions are going their way and some aren't, thanks to federal courts. But it's a reminder that they don't really have the control that they want. And so what do? It's not like they're going to back down and say like, oh, my bad. Some on the fringes will. Some will start to see things turning and be like, wait a minute, maybe I need to pull back from this. And that's great. And that's what you want, is you want them to be reminded that they are not in control. But then some are just going to go harder and they're going to try to suppress everything. And when people get suppressed, usually they push back harder. So what you're doing, the protests, the inflatables, like not, nonviolent, raising your voice, no matter who you are, smallest creator. And I love to go around to all these super small creators and just like and share and comment and boost them, because we all do it together. But yeah, it's super important that the ants get together, and that's what we're seeing right now, and that's what makes the grasshoppers mad. And so they're going to try to push. I think at some point they'll try to absolutely do the Insurrection Act, and then the courts will strike it down because there's no reason, and there hasn't been any reason. 11 million people and no violence at all. That's just not something you can sell. And if they allow that to happen, if it'll be a test, right? And if the courts say, okay, well that's fine, like let's just do Insurrection Act whenever a president's feelings get hurt, then that's a red line, and then we all go. And I think we're getting to that point where that may just start to happen anyways, but not in a violent manner. It might just be walking off the job. And, the people's sick day, things like that, like blacking out the economy, those are massive. And maybe that's the next step, as well, is we've got holiday season coming up. Retailers, major corporations make a ton of money. So maybe we just pick a company, maybe we pick Amazon, and then we shut them down for November and December, right? Like not a little, but shut them the fuck down, like around the world. And that would send a message, because you hit them in the pockets. You hit them in the pockets to the point where they have to change their behavior, even just a little bit. And it's a game of inches. But if you keep playing that game and you keep doing those things that make them change their behavior, and getting progressive candidates into office and hitting back on establishment Democrats and the GOP whenever you can. All of those things, they sway the tide of history. So it's just something to remember. Yeah, you voted with your voice on Saturday. If you have other protests you can go to, vote with your voice then, but vote with your pocketbook, vote with your wallet, vote with your vote in November. If you don't know if there's an election coming up around you for, an in-between, cycles, go find out, because there probably is. And it might even be on small stuff, but go vote and make your voice heard to make your life better and to send a message. So great work on Saturday. Let's do this again and bigger, and let's honestly start to think about shutting some stuff down. Let's not do it on a Saturday. Let's do it on a Wednesday and just walk off work for a day. Really send a message, maybe. So great work. Thank you. Bye.